Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This video is going to be Spanglish, all over the place, English and Spanish. Alright, so it's going to be a little story time, so if you're ready, let's get started. But we decided to record where we used to live before when we were like maybe 5 years ago, and we lived there for 6 years. Is you guys ready? 3, 2, 1. This used to be us driving all the time. There's a cemetery right there. It used to be really close to where we used to live, but I was never scared or creeped out or anything. But anyway, so for all my people in AZ, I think you guys know where I'm at. Maybe. Do y'all know what this is? Alright, we're almost here.
Memories.
Hi, Mom.
Hi.
I never knew Mom was a house. There's a dog, big dog.
Okay, let's just have like 3 washers and dryers.
So there was a big dog. We called Scooby-Doo. It was funny.
Guys, remember?
There's a lot of cars in here still.
I know.
Does people still live here?
I guess so. I see our house. Right there. Where? Right there.
Where is it fenced in? Right there. This is
Hallelujah.
our house, guys.
Right there.
This was our house.
Hallelujah. We never had those stairs though.
5,000 washers.
We never had those stairs though.
This is what someone used to. Oh, Lord.
Okay, so as you can see from the clips, I am showing you where we used to live. No shame in my game. Very proud. That's why I think I'm the person that I am, because of all the stuff, struggles and stuff that we've had. Okay, so when we lived in these trailers, I'm gonna show a little clip of the trailer right now.
No, that was right. I don't want to go back to all my own memories.
Okay, so when we lived on the trailer, this particular trailer that I showed you, I didn't talk to a lot of people. I'm always I used to be very like isolated, and I really didn't talk to a lot of people. I think it had to do with the way that my husband used to be. My husband used to drink a lot. That's another story time. If you guys want me to let you know, comment or tell you, I'll let you know. Comment down below. Maybe when he's here we can do it. Anyway, so we've lived at this location for 6 years. Now, on the 5th year that we lived there, I did talk to like my immediate neighbors, like this side and the front one. But usually I will talk to the front one like the most. Ever since since almost day one, my neighbor had always talked to me. She had always talked to me. I don't know. I think she was the sweetest lady ever. I don't know if it was chismosa or no chismosa. I don't know, but she was super nice. And then I met her family, her daughter, her 2 kids. Okay, so then essentially, I don't know what happened. I can't recall what happened to her husband. I do recall that her husband was taken over to Mexico and he didn't come back. Now the wife didn't want to go to Mexico because her kids were here and the life was here. So then essentially this neighbor of mine gets remarried, or she doesn't even get married, but she lives with her new boyfriend. They're both working at a Mexican restaurant. Everything's perfectly fine. And then one time she came over to my house, or to my trailer, and she said, "Hey, can you do my nails?" I try to do nails, like I know how to do nails and stuff, so I would do the nails for the people in the trailer. And then I said, "Yeah, for sure." And then we used to always mess around, but she was just not the same person that she was when her husband was here. So then all of a sudden, después me dijo ahorita vengo, which means I'm coming back after I was done with her nails, because she wanted me to do her makeup. But then she never came back, and I was like, well, that's weird. And I waited and I waited and I waited. Well, then I seen her a few days later, and I was like, hey, ¿qué pasó? ¿Por qué no viniste? And da-da-da. And she's like, oh, because my boyfriend didn't want to go to the club anymore, so I didn't need to, and he didn't want me to come over late at night because it was already like 10. I said, oh, okay. But I wouldn't see her as much as I used to before. So then one day, I remember that I was gonna go somewhere and I didn't go, and I looked over in the front, and I was just like, why does that guy look so sad? Her boyfriend looked sad. He was outside sitting on a table. And this is like around roughly 7 o'clock. I was like, okay. I believe it was like a Tuesday, I want to say. Back in like 2013. Or 2012. Something like that. So, anyhow, that same day, that night, I think I want to say like around 10:45 or 11, I was sort of kind of falling asleep, but I wasn't fully asleep. So I received a text message that I didn't hear, but my husband did, because I then received a call, and it was my neighbor's daughter. My neighbor's daughter lived like 30-40 minutes away from our trailers. She had just moved with her boyfriend, her husband at the time, and she called me. So I answered the phone and I was like, who is calling me? I don't have this on my register. And then I was like, oh, maybe it's my mom, because my mom at that time was going a lot to the hospital due to asthma attacks. So I was like, oh crap, let me answer. Y ándale. Okay, I answered the phone and I was like, who's this? Because then I started hearing like a scared voice, and I was like, ¿Quién habla? Who's this? And then she told me her name, and I was like, oh, what's up? And I was like, how you get my number? She's like, Facebook. And I'm like, oh, what's up? And then she's like, please, Beatriz, go help my mom. And I was like, what? And I'm over here kind of like trying to wake up at the same time, and I'm like, help your mom with what? So then I get up as she's talking to me, and of course my trailer was only like 50 feet by 12. It wasn't that big. And then I start walking towards the hallway, and then my husband's like looking at the window. He says, oh, don't get out. And then I was like, what? And then I looked over. I could see diagonally close, and the door was open, and I was like, my husband says, the neighbor's on the floor, and I was like, no. I'm like, those are just pillows. And then I looked over, and this all happened in a matter of seconds. I don't know if you've ever had that, but I looked over to my left, and I seen a bunch of cars come in, which were like the cops. Then I seen the dude outside talking on the phone, and then I go outside, even though my husband told me not to. I opened the door and I ran, because I was like, oh, I need to help my neighbor. So then the guy is right here, and then he's on the phone, and then somebody's asking him if my neighbor's alive, and I'm like, what? And then he says, yes, no, maybe, I don't know. And then his emotions were all confused. And then I'm like, hey, why is she on the floor? What's going on? And then he was just, on the phone. And then he was like not coherent, and at the point I was like, you know what, forget you, dude, I'm about to go help my neighbor. So I remember that I ran, and when I ran, I got stopped by one of the police, because at this point I didn't even remember the police were already coming. I need to go, I remember I was yelling, I need to go help my neighbor, I need to go help her. And he was like holding me, and I was like, I need to go help her. And I'm like, I know where she puts her stuff, I was talking about the alcohol and all this stuff. And then he was like, no, you can't go to the crime. And I was like, crime? I was like, she's just passed out. And so they wouldn't let me in. And then essentially there was 2 cops in one car. So the cop that was not driving was holding me, and the cop that was driving put gloves on and ran inside. And mind you, the light was on, but it wasn't on in the living room, which is where my neighbor was. And my neighbor's boyfriend was outside, and then the light was on, but it was like a kitchen light, but their house was the light was that kind of yellowish, more dim, but because the light was too far away, I couldn't see her, I couldn't see anything. I just I could see that she was there, but I couldn't see if she was if she had passed away, or if she was alive. I couldn't see anything. I could see her in her shorts and the black shirt. And then I remember that the cop went like this, and then flipped over and went like this, and then told the cop that was holding me, it went like this. And I was just like, what does that even mean? So then the ambulance was coming, and the firefighters, as you guys know, they always come together. Then the cop that was holding me tells the firefighter like this, and then the ambulance like this, and then they leave, and I'm just like, what are you doing? She needs help. What's going on? And then they were like, no. They're like, she didn't make it. And I was just like, what the? And I was just staring at her like, I just seen them outside like a few hours ago. Like, what do you mean she's not alive anymore? So then her daughter shows up, and I'm just looking at her like, and then she's like, Beatrice, why is my mother on the floor and she's not moving? And then I just stared at her and I was like, I don't know. And then she said, but why is she there? And I'm like, I don't know. When you called me, she was already there, and the cops don't let me in. And then I was just like, I am so sorry. I'm here for you, whatever you need. And then she says, or the cop tell me that I couldn't talk to her because I was like a witness per se. So then hours go by, and then they tell me to go back in my trailer because I couldn't be next to the daughter. So I go in my trailer, and then they knocked on my door, and they're like, we need your sandals because we have a print that we can't, like a footprint that we can't find. And so I give them my shoes. They do whatever they have to do. They put it like on some sort of, I don't know what the thing is. It looked like cement. So my print matched with the other print. It didn't match, of course, because on a trailer park, I mean, a lot of people are walking by back and forth. So anyhow, then all of a sudden, they're asking the boyfriend, like, what happened? And he's saying that he don't know. He's saying that he went to the store, and then when he come back, he found her like that. He doesn't know if she was, like, you know, raped, or if she was, like, some people broke into her house and she was trying to defend herself. He didn't know anything. So these cops are searching the whole entire trailer park, which you have to do when there's a robbery. Well, after many hours, I want to say this happened like around 11:30, 12. I know a long time had passed when all of a sudden I see more cops coming, and then the dude starts running. And then when he starts running, well, of course, the cops catch him right away. And they were like, why are you running? And then he admits that he had committed the crime. Well, of course, there he goes. He gets arrested. The door, we can't get into the other trailer. We can't do anything. And then I think it was like maybe 8 or 9 in the morning, the news show up. And I was like, I don't want to do an interview. It was too hard for me. I couldn't do it. They're like, oh, yeah, do you know what happened? I was like, So then after many, many hours, of course, I couldn't go to work because everything was closed. I even sent pictures to my boss, and I'm like, I need a day off. I can't get in. Look. And I showed them a picture. Of course, it was not of my neighbor. It was just how my car was used to tie the caution tape and all that stuff. So then, maybe like 9, 10 a.m., we see the forensics showed up very early, but you know how they put those little numbers and stuff. Then they did many hours of research, many hours of everything, and it probably happened like around 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. when then I noticed that they were taking her body in a body bag. It was, and it's still to this day, it was very painful, and it is very, very, very painful. Because, again, she talked to me almost every single day. Outside she was with her boyfriend for like 6 months. And they moved in together after living maybe like, after dating for like a month or two. But the whole time they were together for like 6 to 9 months. And so, finally when they let us in, I just looked at the daughter and I was just like, I am so sorry. But you know, we just wanted to find out and make sure that she wasn't tortured or anything like that. The way that she passed away was very brutal, cruel. I just don't wish this upon anybody. To my understanding, they were arguing about money and whatnot. I'm gonna tell you one thing. I don't know if this is like a curse or how do you say it? Or like something good. I don't know. But people that I know, like they're very close to me, when they pass away, I can see their last 10 seconds of their life. I don't like it because sometimes I'm like, what if I just want to make it up in my head? Or what if it's just I just want to know, and that's why it's making that up in my head. I'm probably just cray. But it has happened multiple times where I don't want to say that it's a curse. It's probably a blessing. But it's just weird. Because I remember that I told the daughter, I was like, she didn't suffer. So in my head, I can see her arguing with him. He hits her. She's crawling to like save her life to open the door, but in her doorway she had like a metal door, and this dude just pushes her and she hits her head like around. She hits it just right, and she's dead. But according to him, he hit her as well with the baseball bat like 8 times or something like that in her face. Which you can see the articles that I posted in the beginning of the film, my video. So not only she got hit, she's trying to save her life, he hits her with a baseball bat. So then, of course, he goes to jail. He received 17 years for second-degree murder. I don't understand how it was second degree. Then you try to run away, because before he even called, you tried to leave, and then he came back thinking, oh, I'm going to say that it wasn't me. And then, he ran. He tried to run, and he got caught like that. But yeah, he got 17 years. And so after that, I was very traumatized, because I can't tell you how many months I had to tell my husband, like, I will work mornings, but morning like at 5 a.m. so it was dark. I couldn't tell you how many times I will tell my husband, like every single day, to take me to my car, all the way until I get in my car. And then when I will get in my car, I will turn on the light, because I was just terrified. I'm just like, oh my God, she's right here. Oh my God, she's right here. I can feel her. I can sense her. Oh my God. No, I've never done anything to her, and I know that you shouldn't be afraid of the death, because they can't do anything. But still, I was just too scared. And then I remember that there was times that I needed to go pee, or I was like, those times, I don't know if you guys have ever had it, but I used to get a lot, not very often now, but now I keep like water next to my nightstand. But before, I didn't keep anything in my room, and I was like really, really thirsty, and then I'll be like, no, because she's gonna be sitting in my trailer, and I was just on the sala in the living room, and I was just like, oh no. But then, guys, this doesn't even stop there. Like, the traumatizes continues. So I remember, like, the neighbors that knew her as well kept coming to my house and kept asking questions, kind of like being chismosos, And I'm just like, I don't know what happened. I'm just like, now, mind you, my room, my trailer was kitchen, living room, bathroom, my room. Her trailer was her room, living room, kitchen, the bathroom, and then the other room. So her room, my kitchen. But then it's not like we were like this together. It was probably like, I want to say we were at least 80 feet separated. I mean, you could fit one car going or coming. If 2 cars were going at the same time, we always had one of them had to always like go to the side before the other one passed. So you didn't even have enough room to put 2 cars on that little street. You had like enough room for 1 car, and then you had a little bit of wiggle room on the side. That's how far we were. I couldn't hear anything to save my life. I don't know if they had music on or anything. However, the neighbors kept coming to me, and they were like, so what happened? And I'm like, this is all I know, whatnot. And I was like, she called me, I went outside, and then they will turn around and say, ay, ¿cómo que no vas a oír? Tú la pudiste ayudar y no la ayudaste. ¿Cómo que no oíste si aquí vives cerquitas? Translate, what you mean that you didn't hear? You live you live very close, right in front of her. Why didn't you help her? You could have helped her. This would have happened. So I'm just like, is you blaming me right now? Cause I didn't do anything. I try to help. When they called me and they told me, I try to help. But by the time they called, it was too late. I couldn't do anything. Guys, I ended up with a psychologist. No, psychologist. For like 2 or 3 sessions, because I was like, maybe if I would have just not listened to the cop, maybe if I would have just escaped from the cop and go running and helping her, maybe I started to blame myself until I started to learn that it wasn't my fault. And like these people just kept coming, but you know, it was like, I have to have a stronger mind. It wasn't my fault. I didn't do anything. But anyhow, time has gone by now and stuff like that. And then 3 years so later after, I get an email. I get subpoenaed. I said, what the? And then I got like the subpoena and stuff like that. And then of course I had to go, because if I didn't go, I was gonna get a warrant for my arrest, because I was like part of that. Not the crime, but the, ¿cómo se dice? Like the witness side. But when I went there, the attorney person, she told me that it was canceled, that they didn't need me anymore, that her kids were gonna take care of it. So this was my story time. I do want to let you know she left behind a daughter and 2 sons. One of the son, which was mentally disabled. He's very smart though. I've met this dude, and he's very, very smart. And of course a bunch of grandkids. I don't know if she has 4 or 5 grandkids at this point, 6. I don't remember how many she had. At the time she only had 2. I don't know now, because we don't keep communication with, or at least I don't keep communication with the family. And that is just for personal reasons, but if you guys want to know, I can make a story time as well. But anyway, if you guys have any further questions or anything else, leave them below. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe this video. And until the next time, peace.